Hi everyone, welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be doing a pretty easy beading project. Well, it's going to be a quick video because I didn't really plan for this week and I want to be able to make something, film it, and edit and post the video all in one day. So that means it's got to be something kind of easy and small, and a lot of people often ask me how to get into beading, so I thought I would share a very simple beading project. And I also want to make something to go inside this frame. I took off the, there was a tabletop thing on here and I kind of bent the metal all weird. So I'm going to try to figure out a way to take this hinge off, but I do want to leave this little back piece that has the hanging device on here. That's the goal today. I was thinking a snake because it's going to be a portrait-oriented piece because of the way this is set to hang. I'm going to take the glass out and then have it just be linen touching the frame exposed with the beaded snake. And where this is going to be interesting is, I think, the color story. As far as linen goes for the background, I have some navy blue linen. I have my red thrifted tablecloth, which is tempting because this frame is kind of a reddish brown. I'm sorry if the lighting's a little weird today. It's a dark day outside, but I don't want to put my overhead light on because it's, I don't know, kind of makes it even weirder. But my favorite choice is to use the brown linen. It's hard to kind of visualize it, but I like these two shades of brown together. And then I think if the snake is a bright yellow or a bright red, it'll really stand out, give an interesting effect. That's what I'm hoping for, because I've done a lot of snakes, so it's not exactly like thrilling for me to bead or embroider another snake unless there's some kind of interesting twist to it. So even if it's just like the color story of the background fabric with the focal point of the snake, that's fun for me. So I'm going to get a hoop to put around some of this fabric. I'm not even going to cut it out. I'm just going to start by putting a hoop around it and drawing a tiny snake, and then we'll get started beading. I have a 4-inch hoop and I have a 6-inch hoop that's gonna help me keep the fabric taut. I wish I had a 5-inch hoop actually. I'm gonna go with this one, and I just gotta keep in mind that the snake has to be very small in the center of the hoop when I draw it. For now, I'll put this aside. Okay, now I'm gonna draw the snake, and I need to keep in mind that I want it to be centered in here and fit inside it. Keep it kind of on the smaller side. I'm gonna use a micron pen. I guess this is a micron 05. And for the snake, I just want it to be a curvy snake. There's not gonna be any loops. It's just, so I'm gonna start with a line. Something like that. Now I'm going to fill in the look of the snake. I'm going to keep it kind of on the narrow side because with beading, I tend to bead outside the lines and make it a little bit thicker than my drawing. So I'm gonna leave it something like that, and I want to add a little tongue and a little placement of an eye. Now I'm going to start beading. I'll get a bead needle and figure out what thread and what beads I'm gonna use. I thought I might have beading needles in here. I use very long, thin beading needles. It's probably hard to even see it. I love these bright red beads, and I think they go great with the fabric, but I do want the tongue to be red, so I'm not sure about that. I think what I might end up doing is using these yellow beads for the main body of the snake, and then I'll find a red tongue and a little black bead for the eye. All right, for the thread, I'm just going to use this sewing thread that I've had out for beading. I'm not super particular about what color thread I use. I double the thread, and for me, I do a pretty long thread for beading, but if you're a beginner, I'd probably have it a little bit shorter than what I'm doing. I usually try to keep it like a little bit longer than my arm's length, but if you're new, I would do just your arm's length. I'm gonna start by outlining it on one side, and I'm placing my needle a little to the outside of my pen drawing so that no pen will show through. And I'll start with doing 6 beads at a time. Sometimes I'll do 8 beads at a time, but because this is small, I'm gonna keep it 6, and there's lots of curves. Around the curves, I might do 4 beads at a time, but my method is to back stitch about halfway, and then I bring my thread halfway across the beads and then secure it by stitching it again. So I'll do that again, 6 beads on. I'm gonna curve it around my drawing, stitch at the end of the beads, but go backwards about halfway. And then to secure the beads, I will stick my needle through it again, and then you're ready to string on more beads. So at the curves, I'm gonna do 4 beads at a time. It just gives a little bit more control to the shaping of it. But it's the same idea where I'm back stitching and then forward stitching with securing the beads in place halfway. I'm going to keep going with this method. Okay, so I have the first side outlined, and I'm not sure if I want to just keep outlining this second side or if I want to start filling in. Sometimes it's hard to tell how many rows of beads you're going to need. I think instead of outlining the second side, I'm going to start by filling in yellow beads along this line that I created, and I'm going to put 1 bead and then find a little black bead for the eye. I think what I'm gonna do is find the outer outline, and I'm gonna start by threading through some of these beads, maybe 3. There's a subtle drawing of my pen, and I'm going to follow it with yellow beads, touching these beads until it gets a little farther away where I will have to fit another line of beads in here. think that this is done. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna take this out of the hoop. I'm gonna cut it out with a little extra fabric. So the way the hoop leaves a little indent, I'm gonna iron that out right now. Challenging than I expected. Hopefully I don't damage the beads. Uh-oh. I don't think this is gonna fit behind. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have used foam core. So I'm gonna try that again. This is stressful. Okay. It's pretty cute. Let me see if I can show you it with better lighting. Here it is in better lighting. Here's the snake beaded inside the frame. This is what the back looks like. Kind of chaotic. Not enough room to fit the backing. I don't know if we have one of the zigzag framing bits that one attaches to the back of a frame. None of my frames have one of these things. So I'm gonna get one of those. Lewis might have one downstairs, but I don't want to go through all of his framing supplies. So I'm gonna leave this project at this point. This is my finished little beaded snake. Obviously you could also try making this in a hoop instead of in a rectangular frame. Yeah, the frame proved to be a little bit more challenging, but I had a feeling the kind that with the slide up, I don't know, format would be challenging for fiber arts. And I do prefer the frames that you can just pop something into rather than slide. And I did say, I think when I got these frames that I would do drawings for these slide in frames, but I just wanted to do this little snake in here. So that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back soon with another one, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. Bye guys.